Okay, YouTube, here we go. As promised, some more airbrushing. As you can see, the colors on this Hive Tyrant, sorry, I should move this camera over here. Okay. The colors on this Hive Tyrant are very subdued. The green that I sprayed is about 3 coats thick, and it still looks like this. That's not necessarily a bad thing. The airbrush range paints are obviously not as opaque as all the other ones, otherwise it wouldn't go through airbrush, which means you do require some layering. That being said, I don't mind. It gives me time to get to grips with this airbrush. It lets me go slow, which is the goal, or at least the outset, and it lets me screw things up a little bit more slowly, like this fingerprint in wet paint, which is of course bad. I'm going to do some more with the base coat, Castellan Green, and hopefully you can see that through this camera. I will do my best not to spray it directly at the camera, but hopefully you can see some of this progress as I move around. As always, you're going to spray some away from you onto some surface where you can tell what it looks like. In this case, this newspaper. Looks good. We're ready to go. I will start here. It's a nice color. These pseudo air ranges. It's the same colors obviously as their normal paint ranges, so you don't need to worry about them matching, which is nice. If you have to mix your own, it can get tricky. Um, as it is, the darker colors on dark prime models like this one sometimes can be a bit hard to tell on the first pass, and the tendency will be to go too fast or too hard on the trigger. I have really tried to stop myself doing that, and I think so far I've been moderately successful. I will also say um, the um, the airbrush aiming a stream of air that you can't necessarily see very well at your model without using it like a gun and looking down some sort of scope is awkward at first. I've forgotten how awkward that was. Um, that is something that with time becomes second nature, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But at the moment, sometimes I'm trying to hit some part and notice that the spray is actually collecting somewhere else, which is bad. Other things are, especially on the detail areas where we are trying not to hit other parts of the model, the tendency is to move the airbrush closer and closer to the model. That is problematic because the closer you move to the model, with every step you have to modulate the flow rate. So rather than doing that, what I recommend doing is stopping, um, readjusting the flow rate off on the side on some paper, and then going back to the model if you are going to move the airbrush closer. That being said, I wouldn't go sort of any closer than about this far, 10 centimeters or so. Getting in here like this, I think that the potential to make a mistake is enormous, and that would be a shame. So I'm trying to force myself not to do that. In addition, painting large, broad areas like the wings is quite easy. But as you get into, for example, these claws on the wings, what happens is the airflow wraps around those areas, and the paint tends to collect much faster on those tips than it would over a large area like these wing membranes. So again, it's a place to watch out for any potential mistakes. So far, I've been lucky maybe that I haven't. As for holding your models, a model this big, without actually sticking it on a base and gluing it or somehow making it stay there, you're forced to hold it. With the Swarmlord, that's not that bad. This airbrush that I'm holding onto is going to be black and painted last, so I do have some hold fast, but like you saw, I did put a fingerprint on it already in the wing, so you do have to be careful. I think we're good with the first layer, the Castellan green. I'm gonna let this dry. It does desaturate as it dries quite a lot. Some of the details here, the leg, this tail, which is a pain to airbrush because of the roundness of it, might need another layer. I'll do that off camera. When we come back, what I'll be doing is I'll be going in with a lighter color. I'll be going in with this Elysian green, and hopefully then you'll start to see this plan of mine come together. Or spectacular failures. Either way, you'll have something to watch. Thanks very much for watching, YouTube. Come back, subscribe. 2 videos a week as I can manage it with my current workload. Come fall, that should be a lot easier. Thanks again, and hope to see you next time.